Hello and welcome to the webinar. My name is Nick Marinello and I am the president of Focal Point Business Coaching here in New Jersey, where we have a team of 5 elite business coaches that work with small to mid-sized companies, corporate executives, and even startups, solopreneurs, those people who are basically hunting on a daily basis to build a business. Today's webinar is focused on the 5 critical shifts you need to make to rapidly grow your business and make it last. Who is this for? Who is this webinar for? Well, it's really for anyone who provides a professional service for a fee. Financial advisors, realtors, accountants, lawyers, marketers, engineers, etc. If you provide a customized, knowledge-based service for your clients, this webinar is designed for you. So, in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about how to leverage your existing talents and resources without really reinventing yourself. We're going to talk to how do we quickly change our mindset to a winning mindset. You will learn a guaranteed formula to effectuate positive change that will impact all aspects of your life, not just your business. It's a very, very powerful formula. In fact, I call it my secret formula that will definitely change the way you approach your business. You will also develop a real way of creating a strategic plan. You're going to stop using a trial and error approach that puts tactics in front of strategy. You'll stop wasting time by guessing and then hoping that things will be different. And you will learn to build a sustainable business model that will evolve with an ever-changing business environment and provide you with a real quality of life. So my promise to you today is really to help you build a step-by-step strategy to grow your business and to make it last. So before we get going today, there are a couple of prerequisites or house rules, if you will. The first one is you have to be open-minded and you have to be willing to change what you are currently doing. You have to be good at what you do. All right, we're going to build you a business model, but you have to be good at what you do, what your expertise is in, and you have to be willing to work hard. This is not a magic bullet. This is a process. Does this sound like you? Is your business stuck in a low growth or a no growth mode? Are you experiencing anxiety about where your business is headed and how you're going to fund the lifestyle and the retirement that you know you deserve? Do you at times feel a little bit out of control? And are you tired of a trial and error tactic and needed more of a consistent path for growth that is grounded in solid planning and logical steps? Is your business more of a job than a sustainable business that should be building equity for you and free cash flow? Are you burning yourself out and not spending enough time in other key areas of your life, your health, your family, your friends? And are you concerned that your future is uncertain and you don't have an ultimate exit strategy? In effect, do you feel like you're really not in control of your own destiny? Well, those are just symptoms. Those are just symptoms. The real problem, with your business, and I've seen this with many business owners over the years, the real problem is they haven't learned to make the shifts. Once you learn the shifts and you make the shifts, you will have absolute clarity as to where you are going and, more importantly, what you need to do to get there. You will have a level of confidence and energy that will drive your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your results. You will build an army of champions introducing you to new clients and business opportunities. You will watch your business dramatically grow, and you will surround yourself with people and systems to handle that growth. Your relationships and your health will improve because you will have balance and you will have time to spend on the other important areas of your life that I just mentioned. Your strategy and your tactics will actually work in concert to fuel your business to new heights. and you will realize that business is really not as tough as you once thought it was, because now you actually have a plan that is working. You will actually enjoy what you do as you thought you would right from the beginning, and you will look forward to the next day because of the impact you are making on your clients, your family, and yourself. So before I go any further, let me just tell you a little bit about who I am. I will make it quick here. I have over 30 years of experience in starting and growing businesses. I've founded 6 companies, I've raised millions of dollars in venture capital, and I've managed operational and technical teams, and successfully sold my last business for 8 figures. I've helped dozens of companies ranging from solopreneurs to major regional banks develop marketing programs, growth strategies. I've helped them productize their services, develop efficiency systems and technologies, and eventually successfully exit if that's what they so desired. I have been trained and certified by Brian Tracy's Focal Point International to deliver world-class coaching and training programs to business owners and professional service providers. On a personal note, I've been happily married for 29 years. My oldest just recently got married. I've raised 2 awesome boys, and they really have launched their own successful careers. My wife and I are very proud of them. So let's talk about the shifts. There are 5 key shifts that you must make to take control of your destiny and get your business to become the dream driver that you intended to be. And I'm going to walk you through these 5 shifts right now. Shift number 1. You need to be completely transparent and honest with yourself so that you have absolute clarity as to where you are and where you want to go. In other words, don't believe your own bullshit. In plain English, I don't mean to be crude, but we all have a tendency to do that. We go through life painting our own picture. We post things on Facebook, we post things on Twitter, on Snapchat, etc. And it really sometimes creates a picture, to the world, which is great, but sometimes we can believe our own BS in plain English. So one of the first things you need to do is truly understand where you are in the life cycle of your business. And the way I'm going to teach you how to do that is introduce you to the sigmoid curve. The sigmoid curve is really, it's something that I sit down and I analyze with every business owner. Let me walk you through that right now. In the sigmoid, every business goes through a cycle. And it always starts with a lot of energy and a lot of excitement, and you tend to fall down because you have no sales and you're running out of energy, and things don't necessarily go as quickly and as nice as you planned. All right, but you know what? That is a learning phase. Every business goes through a learning phase, and you have to go through that before you can get into the growth phase. All right, it's just the natural law of building a business. And unfortunately, the next phase is also a natural law of building a business, and it's the decline phase. So where I always start with my clients is truly trying to understand where along the sigmoid curve they are. And I also like to point out some various traps and opportunities that you might see along the way so that it makes it easier to identify where you actually are. So the first trap I like to talk to people about is the honeymoon trap. The honeymoon trap is, like I mentioned before, when you first start a business, you're full of energy and vinegar, and you have some resources, and you have all sorts of great ideas, and you tend to spend money sometimes foolishly. You tend to spend time sometimes foolishly. You're not necessarily focused where you need to be, and you can fall into a trap. Where again you're working really hard, but you're not making a lot of money because you didn't bring clients on board, etc. And that's okay. All right, but you're going to learn, to recognize it the next time you get there. And I'm going to talk to you about when you're going to see it again. One of the other traps that we look at is the 3 feet from gold trap. And what that is, it goes back to an old story of a farmer who bought a farm out in Pennsylvania, and on his farm he realized there was gold, or there should be gold, because of the the discovery of gold on adjacent properties. And so he started to dig a mine, and he did it for years and never found any gold. And he finally got frustrated, sold the farm, and the new guy who bought it, basically just dug three more feet into the mine, and he hit gold. So the moral of the story there, or the metaphor that we use there, is that are you 3 feet from gold, or have you got to a point where you really do have to bail and it doesn't make sense anymore to go any further? Chances are, if you've done the right things, if you learned a lot and you've created some sort of a network and some sort of a presence and some sort of a buzz about your business, you might be 3 feet from gold, and you might have to dig just a little bit more to pull yourself out. The next trap we see along the curve is called the founder's trap. And this is where I probably get more involved with clients in their business. The founder's trap is one where, you know what, you got through the learning phase, you picked yourself up off the bottom, you're starting to do much better, and you're at a point now, though, you just can't necessarily get your business to the next level. And as a founder, you're finally paid down maybe some of your debt, you finally have some cash flow, you're able to afford to go on a small vacation, whatever it might be. But to get to the next level, okay, to rise above here, you need to make some different types of decisions. And it's like the old saying, what got you here might not get you there. You have to think differently. So this is where you might have to leverage up. You might have to bring in additional talent. You might have to bring in different talent. You might have to borrow money, okay, to leverage up. It's the founder's trap. And this is a very, very interesting point to be on the curve, but it's also probably the most opportunistic point on the curve, because if you make good decisions here, if you recognize exactly where you're at and where you want to go and what you need to do to get there, the founder's trap is really the springboard to take you to the next level. And that's when it gets interesting, because you start to really grow your business and things are going well. And I always have to be sure that people, again, don't believe their own bullshit, okay? That they need to focus on what is going to continue going forward. The Midas trap is when you start to think that everything's going to turn to gold, right? Everything you're doing, everything's going so well, it's going to last forever. But I can tell you what, it won't. You have to think it through, and there's numerous stories. I'm sure you heard about them: the Blockbusters, the Polaroids, the Kodaks. The companies that basically thought that what they were doing, okay, was great, and it was great for a period of time, but that it was going to last forever. When in fact, it doesn't. And you start to go into a decline phase. And the next trap there is the denial trap. They don't believe it's really in a decline phase. Sometimes a business owner will sit there and say, no, it's just a blip, it's just a bad quarter, whatever it might be, things are going to change. And you know what? Sometimes they do, but rarely. Okay, it's normally it's the normal phase that a business growth will go through, and this is an opportunity phase. Okay, this is when you have to step in and really make some good decisions and say, okay, where is the puck going next? Right, the old Gretzky metaphor that when he was asked, why are you so good? He says, well, I don't go to the puck. I go to where the puck is going to be next. You have to focus on where is the industry going? What do you have to do in your business to make sure that you're relevant in the industry going forward? So the denial trap is one that you have to be aware of, and then take advantage of the opportunity phase, which is really reinventing yourself. It's almost taking this curve and laying it over the top again and reinventing yourself so you can get to the next level. So the question I have for you is, where are you, your staff, and your business on this curve? This is how you establish the clarity that you need in the business. So let me just talk to you, just a quick case study on how this applied. One of my clients, John, and that's not really his name, I changed his name for this. He owns an insurance agency that he just could not get to the next level. He was basically in the founder's trap. And he was blaming his marketing manager for his lack of growth. But the real reason he was not growing wasn't because of the marketing manager, was because he had his marketing manager targeting the wrong prospects. The fact is, he needed better prospects, not more. All right, he was spending too much time, and his staff was spending too much time with clients, okay, that really weren't profitable, and they weren't the type of clients that were going to get his business to the next level. So He needed to be completely transparent and honest with himself. He needed to gain that absolute clarity. All right, so please don't believe your own bullshit. Don't mean to be crude, okay? But it's very, very important that you sit down and you really take a good hard look as to where you're at in your business. Shift number 2 that I had to learn. All right, you don't need more knowledge or skills necessarily to get your business to the next level. What you need is an entrepreneurial mindset. Sir Francis Bacon once said, knowledge is power, right? We all heard that. Knowledge is power. Well, I hate to break it to Sir Francis Bacon, but he was wrong, okay? And he's not around to hear me anyway, but that's okay. It's wrong, okay? Knowledge alone is not power. Knowledge that is put to use is power. It's actually the difference between potential energy and kinetic energy. So I really believe that you need less theory and more action. You have to get out there and you have to do something with the knowledge that you have. You know what? Why aren't you doing more with this knowledge and skills that you already have? I can tell you what it is. It's mindset. It's that entrepreneurial mindset that I was just talking about. We need to learn to convert our potential energy into our kinetic energy. And there's a great metaphor, once again, or a good story. It's a real story. And we call it the Carnegie Triangle. And what the Carnegie Triangle is, you probably all heard of Napoleon Hill. He wrote Think and Grow Rich, and he was really one of the highest thought of business minds at the time. Well, he was contracted by Andrew Carnegie, okay, the steel magnate from Pittsburgh, and did all sorts of great things in his life. Aside from making a whole bunch of money, set up foundations and was really the founder of numerous think tanks. And what he did is he contracted with Napoleon Hill to find out why are some people more successful than others? Why are some businesses more successful than others? What is the common thread? And after interviewing, I think it was 2,000 or 2,500 different successful business owners, he came down to 3 key elements that make people successful. The first one is skills. All right, you absolutely have to have skills. All right, you have to be able to do something, okay, that is going to make somebody's life or somebody's business better. Okay, you have to be able to provide something. The second component of success was knowledge. All right, you have to know what you're doing, and not only be able to do it, okay, but you have to know what you're doing. You have to know what is right and what is wrong, and what's the best way of approaching a problem, because that's what business is, right? We find a problem, we fix it. If it wasn't for problems, none of us would have businesses. But interestingly enough, what Napoleon Hill found was that knowledge and skills only represented 15% of the success factor. Only 15%. 85% of the success that he found was driven by mindset. You can call it attitude, you can call it mindset. The bottom line is it was not knowledge or skills. It was the ability to get up every morning and drive and think like an entrepreneur. It was a mindset. So when I talk to you about not necessarily needing more knowledge and skills, it's not because I pulled it out of the air. It's based off of actual data that was created years ago and proves true every day. Let me give you an example of thinking more like an entrepreneur, of changing your mindset and your approach. Bill is a client of mine. It's not actually his name. I change his name as I do for most others on webinars. But Bill is a financial advisor with a major national brokerage firm. And Bill has numerous credentials, including the Series 7, the 65, the Series 24, as well as a number of certifications, the CFP, the Certified Financial Planner, and the CHSNC, which is a Chartered Special Needs Consultant. When I first started working with Bill, he asked me, what other designations do you think I should get that can help me grow my business? And I said to Bill, before you spend more time and money getting more credentials. Let's be sure you are really maximizing the skills and knowledge you already have. Now, the Chartered Special Needs Consultant designation is a very specialized designation that empowers Bill to help parents and caregivers of special needs children to plan for immediate and long-term considerations. It's a real problem that many people have that, if not planned for properly, could be disastrous for the child or the older the adult. So Bill gained this designation because he saw firsthand with another advisor in his office the difficulties of a special needs person, that the difficulties they had after that person's parents passed away. So he went and gained the knowledge and the skills to help families if he ever came across that situation in his own practice. But I asked him, are you actively seeking clients who are currently caregivers to special needs people? And he said, no, not really. So we talked about it a little bit, and then Bill and I built out a marketing plan that was specifically designed to get him in front of clients who need help in this area. The plan included a series of webinars and informational sessions, but it also included, and more importantly, a network of strategic alliances that serve the same market. And today, Bill has a thriving and still growing business that is specialized in this area. He has really become the go-to guy for lawyers, accountants, counselors, support group members, and others that that serve that need. And he's received numerous referrals from them. So the majority of his marketing dollars and time he expends is really in the special needs niche. So like Bill, be sure you are effectively leveraging your existing skills and knowledge before you decide to go out and acquire more. All right? So at the end of the day, less theory, less education. Less education, that sounds terrible. You always need to learn, don't get me wrong. But you probably already have enough knowledge and skills to get your business to the next level. Really what you need is what? Yeah, an entrepreneurial mindset. You have to have that attitude in the morning. You have to be a business owner, and you have to think strategically. All right. So those are two of the shifts that I actually talk to my clients about on a regular basis. Now, let's focus on shift number 3. This one I call my secret weapon. This is a game changer for me. I teach this on a regular basis to my clients. I use it. I apply it in all aspects of my life, not just my business. So this is a very, very important component of the shift that you need to make and employ in your business. It's called the Gleish's Formula for Change. Now, I spoke earlier in the webinar that if we're going to get our business to the next level, we have to make change, right? But everybody has resistance to change. I have it, you have it, our clients have it, our staff has it. Nobody necessarily likes to make change, but we all know that you have to do that if you want to get to the next level. So Gleish's Formula for Change is designed to specifically do that, overcome the resistance to change. Here it is. And I know you're saying, oh no, it's math. I didn't do well in math, flunked calculus, whatever it might be. But the bottom line is it's a very simple equation, and I'm sure you're going to understand it, and you'll be able to apply it. It's D times V times Fs is greater than R. And R represents resistance to change. So let me walk you through the variables, and I think you'll get it. The D stands for dissatisfaction. If you're going to get somebody to change, they have to be dissatisfied at the current situation in some way, shape, or form. There has to be some sort of a pain, or there has to be something that just doesn't feel right, or they're just not happy with the current situation. If that is not there, if there is no dissatisfaction or pain, it's very difficult to get somebody to change. If they're happy as Larry walking down the street whistling, life is good, they might not necessarily want to make a change, and it's going to be difficult to get them to do that. So you have to clearly identify, what's the dissatisfaction? What's the pain? If you're talking to a prospective client, you have to identify it for them. Sometimes you even have to aggravate it a little bit so they really do understand what that is. The second variable is vision. You have to clearly paint a picture as to how life would be better, how the business would be better, how their situation would be better once the change is made. What is the vision of making this change, right? What's life going to look like after you make the change? The third variable you have to solve for are first steps. And it's not even so much solving for it. You have to identify or create the first couple of steps because bottom line is chances of you knowing the plan from A to Z is slim. Even an airplane that takes off from an airport, they're flying for hours between New York and LA. They're basically off course 90% of the time, and the computer is making adjustments all along, for wind speed and weight change and air pressure, etc. You're not necessarily going to know the whole plan, but you have to take off from the airport. You have to take those first steps. So you have to solve for DV, first steps, and if you do that, you will overcome somebody's resistance to change. And because this is a multiplication equation, if any of these variables are zero, you have no shot. You have no shot of overcoming resistance to change. Anything times zero is zero. So the flip side to that also is, if the greater the value of each of these, the more pain or the more dissatisfaction that they have, or the better picture you painted from a vision perspective, or the easiest first couple of steps that you can create, all right, the greater the value, will make it that much easier to overcome resistance to change. All right, so this is a very, very important formula. Please write it down. Please internalize it. Please use it. There's no doubt this is a game changer, not only in your business, but in your personal life. You can use this with your kids. You can use this with whoever. All right, it's just the way the world works, and it's an awesome, awesome tool. All right, so let's talk about what we have to change. Well, there's the old way of building a business is basically trying to get from point A to point B and doing all these things along the curve here, along the line, as far as, let's try this. And I call that the try this tactics, all right? It's really not thought out too well. It's always reaching for the next shiny object. It's trying something different because whatever you were doing wasn't working. So this is an old way of thinking. You have to change it. If this is what you're doing, you have to change it. The thing we want to do is we want to get from point A to point B, but we need a strategy, all right? You don't want to start with tactics. You need to start with strategy. So how do you develop a strategy, all right? The tactics always should be a function of the strategy, and in order to create the proper strategy, what did I say was the first shift you have to make? You need absolute clarity. All right, you have to establish a foundation of clearly where you're at, where you want to go. All right, bottom line, what resources do you have? What constraints will you have? All right, what's in front of you that you know of at this point? Let's get as clear as possible. Once we create that clarity, we can then focus on effectiveness. Right? We can make you more effective. We can make your staff more effective. You can make your systems more effective. But if you don't know specifically what you or the staff or your systems are supposed to be doing or where they're going, you're not going to make them more effective. You're doing more of those trial and error tactics approaches. All right, so let's start to focus on clarity. Let's focus then on effectiveness. Once we do that, we can kick it into growth mode. All right, we know who we're going after. We know what's our best looking client. We know how to get in front of that client. We know what type of service and product they need, what they care about. All right, all the clarity and all the effectiveness, that we need to put into the strategy comes first before we can get into a growth phase. Once you get into a growth phase, all right, you're going to be having systems in place because we're going to have more effectiveness along the road. That's when you can get into more of a hyper growth. And this is really a fun time for me when I'm coaching with somebody. Obviously, I spend a lot of time down here. All right, but net, once you get into the growth mode and things are really starting to roll, that's when you can get into the hyper growth mode and really take it to the next level, either through an acquisition or by bringing on a new product or a new service. This is where you really can kick it into gear and get yourself to the next level. And then you have to focus on your leadership skills. All right, and this is really where your communication skills, your ability to communicate your vision as to where the company is going. This is when you're looking to maybe raise some private equity money into your company. They're going to be looking at your leadership skills. Again, your ability to analyze, your ability to communicate. So the new way you need to think, is to focus on clarity first, effectiveness second, then you can kick it into growth, and then right up the ladder to leadership. So the new way, let's focus on strategy first, right? Strategy is going to be based off of the pyramid that we just went through, the clarity, the effectiveness, the growth. And then we'll put in the tactics, all right? Then we'll determine what we need to do to get it to the next level. So we went from a try this tactics approach to a do this tactics approach. All right, big difference. And this is when you're thinking like an entrepreneur. All right, you're now saying this is what I need to do, as opposed to let me try this. That doesn't work. All right, so let's just do a quick recap. At this point, we know that we need to be completely transparent and honest with ourselves. We don't necessarily need more knowledge and skills to get to the next level. And we are going to use the secret weapon, Gleich's formula, to overcome resistance to change, all right, in what we're doing. We also know that to effectively grow our business, we need to start with a real strategy based on clarity and facts, and then apply tactics that conform to the strategy, not the other way around. Right? We don't want to go from the try this. We don't want to be in a try this tactics mode. We want to be in a do this tactics mode. This is what's going to get us to the next level. So now let's look at the final two shifts you need to make so that you can get your business in gear and really drive it to the next level. I want to talk to you about a myth. Okay? There's a myth out there that say people will buy from you only when they know, like, and trust you. Here I go with my favorite word. Bullshit, okay? It's bullshit again, all right? Bottom line, people buy results. Only 2% of the people you meet will want to do business with you. Even after they know, like, and trust you, only 2% of the people in the general population will want to do business with you. I call it the 298 rule. 2% of the people will want to do business with me. 98% of the people will not. So what do? I have to focus on where the 2%ers hang out, right? Whatever I'm doing, whatever product I'm selling, whatever service I'm providing, where are the people who want to work with me at that time? If I'm just going willy-nilly to different networking events and so forth, and I'm really not more focused on where those people are, where those 2% are, I'm really wasting a lot of time. But with that said, the other people I speak to, it's not a complete waste of my time, only if I don't follow up with them, all right? You have to nurture the other business cards, the stack of business cards you get at your networking events and so forth. What are you doing with them? You have to have a nurturing campaign so that when they need and want to do business with you, you are top of mind. So you have to have touch points, right? Make sure you have a good CRM system, okay? And you're putting those cards into the system and you have a regular nurturing program in place, okay, that you're touching base with them maybe every 4 weeks, all right? Talking to them about a new product, talking about a new service, talking about what's happening in the markets or whatever business that you're in. But the 298 rule is something you have to truly understand because you can waste a tremendous amount of time, money, and effort, all right, on focusing on going to events and doing different types of advertising and marketing and networking, hoping that you're going to get a lot more business out of it, when in fact the 298 rule really does apply. All right, so that was shift number 4. Shift number 5. You have to invest in yourself. All right, in some way, shape, or form. I know I said you don't necessarily need more skills and knowledge, but you do need to continue to grow, all right? And the best way of doing it is you need to find a coach or a mentor, somebody who you know, somebody that you can trust, somebody that might have a good background or a feel for your business. You have to make the investment. When you have somebody else you can talk to, especially for the solopreneurs that are on the line here, those people who, basically financial advisors, insurance agents, people who really do not have a sounding board, okay, or a group to go to, or partners to go to, that you can kick around new ideas, okay, that you can create an accountability component, all right? It's all important when you're building your business. You need to have somebody else in the loop. Somebody who has experience and expertise is great, okay? It's obviously the best. But even in absence of that, you need to have somebody that has a fresh idea or a different mind, a different set of eyes to look at what you're doing. When you do that, you will dramatically reduce the time to achieve your success. No doubt. And I wish I would have learned this a long time ago. I would have saved a lot of time and money in my own businesses early on in my career. Once I realized that, I don't have all the answers and I do need to rely on other people giving me some, honest advice, all right, it would have changed. It really would have changed a lot of things that I did early in my career. I finally figured it out, and I built a few companies, and the companies I built, we always had at least three, and it was always an odd number of partners. And the reason why it was always three or an odd number is because every time a decision had to be made, we didn't want to get into a stalemate where it's, 2 against 2 or 1 against 1 and you get paralyzed. If you have an odd number, and 1 is not the odd number I'm looking for, if you have an odd number, a decision always has to be made, right? It's either, 3-0 or 2-1 or whatever, 3-2 or 4-1 or whatever. There's always a decision that has to be made. And it gets made when you have an odd number of partners. So, you need to invest in yourself. The stakes are extremely high. Your entire future depends on being effective at the business that you're building. And you want to continue to grow, generate positive cash flows, build equity, and frankly, live the lifestyle you envisioned when you started your business or you got into the business that you're currently doing. Leaving that up to a trial and error strategy approach, right? Try this tactics without guidance and unbiased opinions is, in my opinion, at this point, just crazy. The right mentor or coach will keep you on track and will help you uncover new and unique opportunities and hold you accountable so that you achieve the goals you've set out for yourself when you begin this business. So today, I promise to leverage your existing talents and resources without reinventing yourself. I talk to you about how to quickly change to a winning mindset. Talk to you about learning a guaranteed formula to effectuate positive change that will impact all aspects of your life, not just your business. Talk to you about developing a real strategic plan. Stop using trial and error approach to business. Don't put tactics in front of strategy. You have to do it the other way around. And I want you to stop wasting time by guessing and hoping that things will be different. How to build a sustainable business model that evolves with the ever-changing business environment and provide you with a real quality of life is what I promise you should be doing, and what I hope I was able to basically get you to think about today. So, what do you need to win? The 5 shifts. Number 1, be completely transparent and honest with yourself. You need to take a new approach, a new mindset. You need to use the secret weapon. Learn how to overcome resistance to change. You need to talk to people who want to do business with you. Absorb, retain, believe in the 298 rule. And the other shift you have to think about is really investing in yourself. These 5 shifts alone will dramatically change the trajectory of your business. Now you have a choice. You can continue to live in a world of trial and error, spend hours and hours at networking events, writing blogs and posts, maybe try to become a social media expert, and continue to do the same things over and over again and keeping your fingers crossed, hoping for different results. You may also continue to have anxiety attacks and feelings of helplessness because your confidence is low and you feel like you're just perpetuating a job instead of really growing a business. Or you can gain control over your future by having a well thought out strategy that is constructed from your realities, your goals, your vision for what your business should look like, and how you should be spending your time. You can have a renewed energy and a confidence that you're building a business that will increase your income, your net worth, and your quality of life. Perhaps you can spend more time with your family or going to the gym and achieving a much better work-life balance. My team and I have set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak with you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your business starting today. Whatever your biggest challenges are, we've probably seen it, and we probably know how to overcome it. When you call, we'll do a quick coaching session with you where it's actually a strategic business review that we will craft a game plan to dramatically grow your business, whether that is at a rate of 20% or 30% or more, and prescribe the changes you need to make to get there. You will gain powerful, unbiased insights into your business from an experienced entrepreneur that is also trained to ask the right questions and give valuable guidance based on real-life experiences. On this call, I promise you that we will put you on a path that leads to better decisions and faster results. Now, you're probably wondering, what's that going to cost me? The short answer is it's absolutely free. The only prerequisite, or the only thing we ask for, is that you must have a burning desire to grow your business. You must be outstanding at what you do. You truly have to be good at what you do. You must be willing to be honest with yourself, as I spoke about earlier in the webinar. If this is you, book a session now. You may be asking, why are we doing this? Well, we believe that small businesses are the foundation of a strong, healthy economy. We also believe that business owners, even with slightly better methods and systems, can experience dramatically better results. And we know that these better results will materially increase their earnings, it'll reduce their stress, and it will positively impact their lives. One thing we truly do understand here at Focal Point is the fabulous ripple effect that a successful business can have on a person's life, their family, and their community in general. We have a saying around here that goes like this: we want to be the pebble on the pond. If you drop a pebble into a quiet pond, it creates ripples in all directions. We want to be that impact. We want to have that impact on your business and therefore your life, your family, and your community. Plus, we know that you might want our help. You might want our help to transform your business, get it to the next level. And if so, we can talk about it and see if it's a good fit for both of us. If not, that's okay too. We understand business. You might not be ready or you might not want to do business with us at this time, but that's okay. So here is a little testimonial from one of my clients, but more importantly, there's a link to my calendar. And what I'd like you to do is click on the link, book a time with me. If I'm not available for any reason, one of my colleagues, one of the other certified Focal Point business coaches available in my area will be able to speak with you, walk you through the strategic business review, really determine where you're at, where you want to go, and make some suggestions and give you some insights as to how you can get there. So once again, I want to thank you for your time today. I hope you think it was time well spent. I hope you do apply the 5 shifts that we talked about. And I really do wish you much success and good luck in your business. And hopefully we get to speak in the very short term. Thank you so much. I look forward to speaking with you. So here is a link to my calendar. It would be great. You can just click on that link. It will take you to my calendar. We can schedule that strategic business review call. We can talk through some of your challenges. I can give you some insights and some ideas as to how you might want to make changes within your business. But it's a no cost, no obligation strategic business call, and I strongly urge that you do it. There's no downside. The bottom line is I can't think of anyone that I've done a strategic business review with that did not walk away from the session feeling better about where they were going with their business. So, like I said, maybe we can do business together. Maybe the timing is not right. That's okay. But at the end of the day, we made another friend out there. Hopefully, we had an impact on your business, and you can get your business to the next level. I want to thank you for your time today. I hope you believe that the time, the investment you made of your time today was very well worth it. And we do look forward to talking to you down the road. So once again, thank you. Have a great day and much success to you.